Hi, I'm Mark Preston Milton, owner of Virtual Success, a technology-based company. I've worked in the IT industry for now over 13 years, primarily focused on the military and some banking projects. But for the gist of this video, we're going to talk a little bit more about my DoD experience and some of the resources and stuff that I bring to the table in that environment as well. Like I said, I've worked on a lot of enterprise level projects, project management, technical director, even as a systems analyst, all the way down to a projects analyst. So I've been through every facet of a program that there is, and a lot of times it depended on what the structure would be. But I'm going to lay out some of the programs that I've worked on, and things that I've supported, and how my company can better support your DoD missions and what you're trying to achieve in that space. So, looking at just some of the quick projects, everything I've been involved in is enterprise level stuff. I know a lot of times this can get misconstrued with just the project, but when I talk enterprise level, I'm talking about something that blankets an entire service, or it could be a joint effort of services. So we're talking at an enterprise level, primarily in the Air Force space, which is about 500K users, is what we normally, I think what the estimate is. So when we talk about messing with different, trying to do change management, to do consolidation, to do standardization, do one image or one platform fits all, you can imagine of all the different things that are associated with that, as far as supports and that kind of stuff. So I looked at some of this, and some of the strategies that I've been involved in would be the commodities environment, which is hardware, computer, printing, cellular devices, that sort of thing. When we look at from commodities, maybe some of the software initiatives, all right, where we standardize the buys there, standardize the software that is being used, collect the requirements, do the acquisition process, go through all the phases, the strategy, develop an end product that can be used throughout the services. And some of the other ones are, of course, the ERP stuff, where again, the same scenario, you have to develop the requirements, determine the solutions, get the support from the operational stakeholders, and then move forward with that. And one thing that will still ring true, as every video that you may have watched on my site, I've always applied the IDSG model to this, which is basically identify, determine, support, and then growth, or grow. Throughout these programs, I've been in as a program manager, a project leader, a technical lead engineer, and an analyst, and so on. But it always comes back to the same thing every time. What is the requirement? Okay. What is the goal of that mission, which is sometimes very vague in this space, so you got to kind of help facilitate that and make sure that you have the same opinion and the same ideas as your GOV counterparts. So, and you also always have to determine a solution, process, procedures. These are pretty much givens for those that may not be familiar with the process, working within that space. You always have a solution, a technology solution. You're always going to have a process that has to be defined, and you're always going to have procedures that's going to have to be defined as well. And a lot of these processes and stuff like that, you got a lot of standardization stuff coming here. How to standardize commodities, how to secure them, how to control configurations, you know. And a lot of this is driven by the DISA STIGs, by NIST, you know, DICAP, all this stuff, you know. So I've been exposed to a lot of different things within the DoD of how to get a solution, to define the requirement, determine the solution, determine the best process, the best method to get that fielded for our warfighters. That's pretty much it. And again, like I said, I always use the same model no matter what I'm doing because it just works, you know. If we're talking about standardizing a certain commodity such as a hardware platform, I mean, you're going to have security ramifications you got to consider. You're going to have a configuration management control process. You're going to have to work off some of these DISA STIGs and NIST and DICAPs, and you're going to have a lot of approval stuff behind the scenes that you know, normal people are not going to be aware of. So as a technical program manager in these environments, we've been able to successfully map the process, get us from point A to point B to get to C to ultimately get results. So with this kind of experience, you're probably saying, well, how does virtual success fit in that space? We become a part of your team that you've already, maybe you've already been awarded a contract vehicle to do something similar to this or fill the system. Well, when you need technical expertise and program management stuff and people that's used to principles and criteria and methodology, and you need that enhancement part of your team, well, that's who you can come to us, and we will provide our resumes or whatever you need to help enhance either your proposal or become part of your team to provide the resources that are needed to successfully get that job done quickly, on time, within schedule, and of course within the budget. So that's kind of how virtual success fits in here. We have access to all kinds of technical resources and people that are ready to pull the teams together. Another scenario may be that maybe you want to basically cherry pick a team. You know, we can help you facilitate that. We have the engineering and the technical expertise and the project management level knowledge and the enterprise level view to help you look at the space that we're and the people that are possibilities for recruitment and map out the requirements that you're looking for based on people's expertise and their experiences and stuff that I know about the industry, and apply this methodology. Now, the next scenario, just real quick, would be that you want your team that is being deployed to work that program to understand a methodology like this. So we can either be a part of your team, or we could come in and do classes off-site, on-site, training these people with the actual work that they are working on. Now that is really the key to being really successful, is taking the project, instead of always having to use some kind of what ifs, take the actual project that you're doing and use it as a training tool at the same time. So that way you get the most bang for your buck. The people understand it at that point because they work that same program through each step, each phase, based on this methodology, these criterias. And it will make a tremendous amount of difference. And a lot of times when you get new engineers or new technical people on your team, most of the time in the DoD space, they don't quite understand the services. They are very complex. I would agree with that, that you can't just walk in and know what's going on. It ain't just developing a technology solution, because The military has their own regulations, their own rules, their own laws, and you have to abide by that. And you have to know how to navigate through this when you're building a project. So that's a brief overview of what virtual success can bring to the table in your DoD technologies. We do plan to look forward to working with you. And as always, hope you enjoyed the video, and give us a call and we will take it from there. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.